welcome to Lesson 4. This is the lesson where we start to form Latin verbs. First we'll look at our phrase, judicare vivos et mortuos, to judge the living and the dead. Now, in the last lesson you learned that a paradigm is a table of forms that can be recited as a chant, and the paradigm that you've been learning is personal pronoun endings, and that these explain which person is performing an action, and that's what we're going to use to form our verbs. There are a couple of things that we need to learn before that. The first one is about the conjugations. Now, Latin verbs fall into four main groups or patterns called conjugations. You may remember there was a little bracket, little number in a bracket after the verbs in your vocabulary list. That number tells you to what conjugation the verb belongs. Each conjugation is denoted by a particular vowel, which we call a stem vowel. And we're going to be starting with first conjugation verbs, and their vowel is the letter A. So, how do we conjugate? Well, conjugating in any language means to find all of the forms of a verb for a particular tense. And you would already have seen how English verbs are conjugated. We say, I run, thou runnest, he, she, or it runs, we run, you run, they run. So there are those personal pronouns that we've spoken before for the three persons, first, second, and third persons. And you can see that the words are almost the same, or the verb is almost the same, but there are a few little variations. We've got an EST and we've got an S that change it a little bit, but they're basically the same. Latin verbs are conjugated in a similar way, although there's much more variation between each word. So, before we can start to conjugate, we need to find the verb stem. And to do that, we have to learn about the infinitive. The infinitive means to do something. So, judicare is an infinitive meaning to judge. An infinitive ends in re, re, and there is one among our prayers, which is judicare, to judge. So, in most Latin texts and dictionaries, the verbs are given in the infinitive form. We drop that re, the re, and that leaves us with our stem, in this case, judicar. You notice that the stem ends with the letter A. Well, that tells us that judicare is a first conjugation verb. And to conjugate, we need to add the personal pronoun endings that you've been memorizing to the verb stem. So, it's pretty straightforward except for the first person singular. It very often doesn't follow the pattern. And it's true in the first conjugation. The first person singular doesn't contain the letter A. But all of the others do, and the A precedes the personal pronoun ending. So let's have a look. We've got judico, I judge, judicas, thou judgest, judicat, he, she, or it judges, judicamus, we judge, judicatis, you judge, plural, and judicant, they judge. And you can see the A there in 5 out of 6 with the personal pronoun endings following that. So let's try conjugating another verb. There's imitare, to imitate. If we drop the re, we can find our stem, imitar, and the entire conjugation is imito, imitas, imitat, imitamus, imitatis, imitant. From now on, I would like you to conjugate one verb every day that you study Latin. You can do it written or orally, but it's preferable to do both. And your drill table will give you one verb to be conjugated each day. And this is in addition to any other work that you do. Your vocabulary now, and we have 5 first conjugation verbs and a noun. Comparare, to prepare, imitare, to imitate, sanctificare, to sanctify, clamare, to shout, dare, to give, and Christus, Christi, masculine Christ. For homework, check out your text because there are some exercises at the end of the lesson. You can download some supplementary exercises along with the drill table. And in addition to the phrase and vocabulary on your drill table, you'll see a new row, and this will give you a verb to be conjugated each day. Remember to try and conjugate every single day that you study Latin. That's it from me. Until next time, goodbye, God bless.